Hey there friends, Nathan here at SimpleShot, and today we want to show you exactly how bands work. So if you want to get the most out of your slingshot sport, you need to really understand how a slingshot functions. And the frame itself, that's part of the slingshot, but the real meat and potatoes of any slingshot is the elastic. So an elastic band needs to be tuned to suit you, to suit your body size, and that's what we call our draw length. So we've got lots and lots of videos and content on how to determine your draw length. So we're not going to go into that here. But what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how tuning your bands really affects the performance of your slingshot. So what we've got here is we've got a standard slingshot band set. This is our stock band set that comes with all of our slingshots. This is full length. This has not been trimmed. Our test rig here is set up for a 30-inch draw. So we've got 30 inches from where the band's attached to the slingshot all the way back to where it releases. So we've got a consistent, repeatable ability to shoot at 30 inches. So we're going to fire the first shot at 30 inches. So what that means is we've got a 3x elongation here. So we're drawing the bands out, 10-inch bands, drawing them out 30 inches, divide 3 into 30, and that is 10. That's the length of our bands, and inversely, it's a 3x elongation. So we don't expect a lot of performance here. We're not getting a lot out of our bands because, as we know, bands perform best when they can retract quickly and use all the energy available to them. So we're not using nearly all the energy available at this length. So let's check this out. All right. So that one came out at 167 feet per second. That's fine for target shooting. You'd probably be okay at a 10-meter distance, not have too much of a drop trajectory, but we want to punch holes in cans and get a little bit more power, ideally having a flatter trajectory. So what we're going to do next is demonstrate what happens when we trim our bands 1/2 inch at a time. So let's recall that at full length, we were at 167 feet per second. So we'll go ahead and pull the bands off here, trim them down 1/2 inch, reinstall them, and see what we get. All right, so only a 1/2 inch there. 167 at 10 inches. Let's see what 9.5 inches gives us. Nine and a half inches. All right, that was 171 feet per second. So that's bumped us up 4 feet per second. Not a huge increase, but it is moving up. So it's important that we tune our band. So now we are more than a 3x elongation. We won't do the math on that. We'll cut another 1/2 inch off here. So we'll be at 9 inches. All right, 9 inches. Our last shot at 9.5 was 171 feet per second. All right, 186 feet per second. So we can see that 1 inch taken off the bands has moved us from 167 feet per second to 186 feet per second, a 19 FPS increase just by taking the bands down 1 inch. All right, let's take off one more 1/2 inch. Okay, right it is. All right, 8.5 inches, 198 feet per second. So that's pretty substantial. So we're at 8.5 inches. So you're starting to get the picture here that as we start to tune our bands and bring our elongation up to closer to 5x, which is pretty much the sweet spot, which would be for a 30-inch draw, 6 inches. We can see that we really start jumping up velocity as we trim our bands. Now, as you've come to understand with your slingshot, or if you haven't come to understand with your slingshot, the more juice you ask for out of your bands by shortening them will correspondingly reduce their life. So if you were shooting for longer life and 198 feet per second is good for you, these bands are going to last a mighty long time at 8.5 inches at a 30-inch draw. However, we're going for power here. So I'm going to go ahead and knock this down. We're going to take off 2.5 inches this time and get ourselves down to 6 inches, which would give us a 5x elongation, which is really the sweet spot for power and longevity. A little bit more tilted towards power, and of course, that's what a lot of folks want. All right, 6 inches. Now this is going to be quite a bit of resistance. This is definitely not something you want to start out with. If you're just starting into slingshots, don't cut them down this short. Get used to shooting them around the 8.5 inch mark if you've got an average draw length of, say, 30 inches. Not only are you going to get better band life, you're not going to be resisting against the bands. It's not going to be trying to snatch from your fingertips. You won't be able to tell where accuracy may be lost from over banding yourself. But this is purely to demonstrate the power gains we get by tuning our bands. Okay, so we recall at 8.5 inches, we were just shy of 200 feet per second. Now here we are, tuned up for a 5x elongation for a 30-inch draw. These are going to be smoking, I guarantee it. Make sure these are tightened nicely. And here we go. All right, 260 feet per second. That is not shabby at all. That's got quite a bit of punch. So we can see we started out at 167 feet per second, shooting these bands full length right out of the package. Yep, it's getting the ammo down range, but it's not very impressive speed. So if you've gotten your slingshot and you slapped the bands on there because you were ready to go shoot, and you left them full length and thought, wow, this is kind of puny, now you know why. So this is a little in-depth look at how bands work. And understanding how your slingshot works is going to lead to more enjoyment and better performance out of your slingshot. So get out there, shoot your slingshot, learn how the tool works, practice often, and share it with a friend. Thanks for taking a look.